All right, this is Cadence Radio. It's Wimbloo. It's January 25th, 2019. Hope everybody had a good week. And welcome back. This is my podcast. I'm going to keep on going and keep on going. Lots of stuff happened in the news today, of course. Everybody, hope you keeping track of what's happening in USA. I guess a big event happened. They stopped the shutdown. The shutdown is temporary. They reopened the government temporary for about 21 days to negotiate on a budget of funding the wall and an immigration, more like it. Also, the arrest of Roger Stone, which is kind of ridiculous to me because they didn't really arrest him they indicted him and arrested him on some process charges, and everybody thinks that it's a big fuck you to President Trump and everybody's after him and stuff. But if you look deeper and investigate a little bit deeper, this is not to do with President Trump anymore. I was reading, I got a Twitter follower, his name I think is Clandestine Rosenstein. I don't know what his Twitter handle is. He has a very good analysis on what's really happening. I think Mueller is not going after the Russian collusion anymore. I think he's up on another investigation. All this is, I think, is Mueller's trying to save his ass because the biggest elephant in the room right now is Mrs. Hillary Clinton's Uranium One deal with Russia, and Mueller was part of it. And the people he's arresting and the people he's going after, they all were part of this little deal. So he just want to know who's going to talk and who isn't. So he's basically putting the Gestapo on these guys. Roger Stone knew a little bit about it because he was in touch with Julian Assange, with WikiLeaks and everything like that. Manafort, Cohen knew about this deal. He's a fixer. Manafort knew about it because he's been always in the Clinton books. So he's running into he's just Gestapo and everybody who knows a little bit about what's happening with that Uranium One deal. So he's trying to save his ass. Collusion, you've never heard anything about collusion anymore. You know, drinking Russian vodka on YouTube. Like what Roger Stone doesn't mean that you're colluding with the Russians. Talking to a Russian doesn't mean that you're colluding with Russia. And no, Russia did not steal the election for Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton had a big bribe going. She thought that she was going to be the big kahuna on the block. And something happened on the way to the White House. All the crimes and misdeeds are coming out, and she has to go pay for them. What I want people to also know is also what's happening in Venezuela. That has been happening for a couple of years now, and now it's getting to the forefront. That's basically all-out civil war. And this yellow vest movement, which is happening in France, is going all over the world. It tried to go on in Zimbabwe because Zimbabwe, I guess, was doing the same thing. They were raising taxes, raising something for the people. People tried to protest, and people got shot down. And our prayers go to the people in Zimbabwe, and hopefully they're safe and sound. But that's not something I want to hear. You should be able to protest freely in the streets without getting gunned down. The reason why I'm saying that, I used to live in Zimbabwe for 5 years, of course, and it's a beautiful, beautiful country, beautiful city. Harare, beautiful city, and all my prayers go to those people. All my prayers go to the yellow vest in France. All my prayers go to the people in Venezuela too. So, all in all, this change is about to happen. Everybody says that Trump caved because he didn't do the State of the Union. He opened up the government, case Pelosi. But if you watch X22 Report, that's a great YouTube channel. Catch up on the real facts. this is just a maneuver. You have to give and take. So that if you guys didn't know, a couple of days ago, if you read CNN, there was a draft on emergency order which was made for a declaration of a national emergency to build the wall. It's been already drafted. So the opening of the government was basically number one. I think the number one priority was to get people paid again, because there was a lot of stuff happening. A lot of people living check to check could not afford to go another couple of weeks without being paid. So I think that was one of the biggest things on Trump's for reopening the government. So these guys are going to negotiate. I don't think nothing's going to come about of it, and he's going to put his hand down, saying that national emergency, the wall's going to get built. And I've been saying it ever since. The wall is going to get built either way, with or without Congress's approval. It's going to happen, and when it happens, then chips about to fall after that. All I gotta say is a wall just needs to be built. Everybody thinks that it's trying to keep people away coming into the country. If you're coming in illegally in any country, you would get prosecuted. You would do all that, and then you'd get kicked out. If you have nothing to hide, you come in legally and basically come up, do the paperwork, seeking asylum. People who are supposed to be seeking asylum, especially in Honduras, it's not really a slippery slope. Go to the port of entry, sign your papers, seek why you're coming in. You get vetted, and then you come in. That's it, But that wall is being built because basically the biggest thing, everybody knows this, the drug cartels run that border. The drug cartels bring in so much money, and my thing about it and my assumption, and I know my assumption is a little bit right if you do the investigation. The reason why these politicians do not want this wall being built is because most of that money is going into their pockets, the drug money. It's just what it is. When I'm talking about these demons, what these demons do is the three things which make them money now. Number one thing is human trafficking. Number two is the drug game. And number three is wars. So, how it's all connected. You go into a country, you destabilize them with the wars. So basically what happens is a civil war breaks out. What happens with the UN, which are the dirtiest people every time, and NATO and all those guys, they swoop in. When people are getting killed, they take all the kids and they traffic them out and sell them somewhere. Or harvest the organs, or do whatever. It's the truth. And basically, if people do the research on this one, you will know that's what it is. It's a dirty, dirty game. How the drugs come in, the drugs is basically the big corporations, all those pharmaceuticals, is what they're peddling now is opioids. Opioid is the number one drug has the most fatalities ever. There's more people dying of opioid abuse than ever right now. And those opiates, most of that heroin and stuff, that's what opiates are made out of. They're made out of opium, made out of the heroin plant, all that. And most of it's coming from Afghanistan. And Afghanistan has the biggest opium fields in the world. And what the army is doing over there in Afghanistan, the U.S. Army, is guarding those fields so they can harvest that plant, make the opiates for the pharmaceuticals, and then they shove them to their population and make a whole lot of money. $3 trillion that a year is made out of the pharmaceuticals. And most of that's not coming from here. So the cheaper you make it, the more money. These guys are making out like bandits. But back to the wall, the reason why the wall's coming in is going to cut out the cartel. The cartels are not gonna. It's going to be harder for them to ship in these drugs, and basically that money is going to be cut off big time, and especially even that. But they'll find somehow, some way. CIA has been doing it for the longest time. Please check out Dark Alliance by Gary Webb. It is one of the best books I ever written. One of the best books I ever read. It's a long one, lots fact-based, everything, documents, and just to let you guys know about the Ricky Ross thing. That's where basically, just read the book. The book is very, very, very informative of what's happening south of the border. So the wall's going to get built. What we're running into now is basically time. Investigations are still going on. Everybody, the people I listen to, talking about mass arrests. Mass arrests are going to happen, but they're not going to happen right away. I have a feeling that it might take 3 to 4 years, but when Trump's still in office, I think these when the arrests are going to happen, and it's not him who's going to get arrested, because they got nothing on this guy, and that's the truth. So hopefully we're going to see more light to come, and hopefully we'll be better off when we get these demons out of here. The economy is shit. And I'll protest to it. I'm in Calgary. We had the best economy forecast 10 years ago, and it hasn't been like that ever since. I still have faith that we are going to come out of it. I got faith that there is going to be a big reset happening, and hopefully we'll be okay. And I think we will be, So let's keep on going. I got a feeling that during election time, you're going to see a couple of things happen on that, because our election, I think, is in May or June. I'm not quite sure. We're going to have a new premier, of course. I think we're going to go back to being conservative instead of NDP. And I think a lot of things are going to be run up here, and we're going to be prosperous. But what I implore Alberta to do is basically, I think we have one more boom left in us. And I think when that economy comes up, I think we got to be more innovative, bring in new companies, a new vision. Oil and gas is our heart and soul. I know that. And basically, it's not about taking it away. It's just basically advancing it as something else. And I think it's going to happen, but we need to get more industries in here and prosper that way. So basically, when the bust happens, which is going to happen, a little downturn is going to happen, that Alberta is going to survive. I got a feeling that it is happening right now, but not as fast as it can. But like I said, oil and gas does fuel this province. And once that gets going, once we get supplies going in there, that economy is going to grow. And then basically we can diversify and be okay. And I got a feeling that's going to happen. So you guys hang in there. All the Calgarians hang in there. And definitely Albertans too. And definitely we'll see greener pastures. So I'm having a couple current events here. I have a couple of my friends coming in. I really want to interview them. I think people are getting sick of me sitting over here every time and recording just by myself. And right behind me, I got a kitchen table, a glass of wine, and a couple of candles in the back. So I think people are getting kind of sick of it. So let me get some guests up in here, and definitely we will divulge more on these topics I speak about every week. So yeah, that's basically those current events. I want to give a shout out to the Covington little kids who got smeared last week. So ridiculous. I've seen the video, and the videos do not lie. And these kids were just minding their own business, and they get thrust in a spotlight and basically attacked by rabid dogs on these kids. Now lawsuits are happening. I'm glad about that. These are kids, man. These are just kids. So definitely respect to, and it doesn't matter whoever you're a parent, even if you're a Democrat, Republican, you come after kids and stuff like what these people did, these adults did. It's on. Protect your kids and protect your family. And I'm glad those lawsuits are happening. And the media's taking a big loss on this one. Like I said, do not ever trust the mainstream media. The mainstream media is a bunch of liars. They're not about the facts. They're not about anything about an agenda. And the agenda is coming out, and we know what that agenda is. You don't report the news fairly. You don't report the news with facts. You just report your news with your opinions, and you just want some people to be on your side. That's not how the news is supposed to work. And hopefully these people are going to be exposed for what they are, and it is happening. And you'll see changes happening here soon. The alternative media, I don't even call that the alternative media anymore. Get another source. You get another source, get the facts going, and see what's happening. Because all it is, Dustin Nebels is good. X22, SGT report. They report the facts, and they just keep on going. It's like, and that's it. That's what it is on this one. But you got to fight back, because these guys are Gestapo, true and true. Trying to take out freedom of speech. They can say whatever, but then they try to silence people who can't because of a hat they wear or a person they support. Are you serious? That's ridiculous. Read the Constitution. Read the Charter of Rights in Canada. You got the freedom of speech. I would not. The best saying I've ever heard is like, I do not agree with whatever you say, but I will fight till the end for you to say it. So, and that should be everywhere. That should be everywhere. That should be on everybody's back of the car bumper sticker. Because we're getting censored, you should not be censored. If you ain't preaching, you're going to kill somebody, you're going to do this, and you just have an opinion and want to get the facts out, you should be allowed to do that. And I don't believe what YouTube is doing, trying to put in some algorithm about conspiracy theories and look at videos with conspiracy theories in them and get flagged and get taken off. YouTube needs to go. YouTube needs to be breaking up. YouTube needs to be to the public. It's not supposed to be to some big corporation. It should be to the public. It should be a public forum, and it should be to the people, not to a corporation. Same with Google and same with Facebook. Facebook should be broken up. I don't care what it is, because basically they think that they can be the end all and end all to stop speech. It's ridiculous. Get a brain, man. It has to be a public forum, and if you don't like what people are saying, you can turn them off, but they don't need to be censored. That's it. They don't need to be censored. So I'm gonna sign off here, and hopefully you guys are ready for this ride. This ride is gonna be fun. I don't want to be all put up in politics and all that, but this is the future. This is our livelihood. It's going to affect us very, very, very much. And you got, everybody just needs to be strong. Do your research. Speak out like I'm doing right now. I don't care if I get 1 view, 2 views, and 3 views. That's 3 people I've actually reached out to. So hopefully more people can come up to this forum, and we'll go from there. But I'm out. You guys have a good one. And I will see you next week. All right. Peace.